Ugh, oh my goodness, what was that all about? It just got a sudden chill in here. Oh, I'm like freezing. Oh man, I gotta bundle up. Ugh, what's that all about? Oh, I know. It must be a cold open. No, not good. Whatever, let's just start. Alright, welcome to a new edition of Nintendo Games and Junk. In quite a strong contrast to the cold open, it's actually quite warm in here. It is a hot bedroom, but that won't stop me. We're gonna go through 3 bags, and hopefully I won't melt to death. I don't think I will. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure melting to you, if you melted, you would just die anyways. I don't know. Let's just start the first bag. Now this is from Disc Replay, which this is actually quite an interesting change of bag design. Kind of like a trash bag looking thing. Usually, they were like a gray bag, not a black one, so it's kind of weird, but, I guess it's not so weird, it's just a different bag, that's all. Now, we have a couple NES games. I should actually mention that they did have, some interesting titles. I had, Faxanadu and, Battle of the Olympus. No, Battle of Olympus, not Battle of the Olympus. It was Faxanadu, Battle of Olympus, and I think some other stuff was there too that was kind of interesting. I almost considered getting them, but they were just too expensive. They weren't worth it, so I passed. And I almost considered getting Silent Service because they had it with the manual, but then I was like, no, I'll pass on that too because I'll probably find it in box one day anyways, so it's not really that big of a loss. It's a very common game, so whatever. I don't really care about that one too much. Anyways, for our 2 Nintendo titles, we have Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, not Where in the World is Where in Time, published by Konami. This is a pretty uncommon game. It's not rare, but it's up there as one of the. It's just one of the more uncommon titles. I've never seen this one before. This is my first time seeing it, and $7 for like an uncommon game. It's not too bad. I'll take it. Now what I really want to get, the big thing I want to get, well, literally big in this case, is the big box this game came in. It's kind of like a big box PC game, but on the NES. It came with a whole freaking desk encyclopedia just to help you cheat in the game, I suppose. Yeah, that's why the box is so big, and I kind of want to get it just for how ridiculous it is, but maybe another time. But the game itself, having that's fine for now. I heard these games are pretty enjoyable, Carmen Sandiego titles, even if they're educational or whatever. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, if the game's fun, who cares if it's educational, If it's a fun, good game, it's a fun, good game, Nothing wrong with that. And we have Dino Wars, the destruction of Spondylus. Yeah, this is a Bandai game. I have never even played it before. I don't even really know what it's about. But I think it's some kind of platformer, from what I remember. Seeing like brief gameplay of, and it's what I didn't have before, so maybe I'll actually end up really liking this one. Who knows? This could be like a good game for me. I don't know, but I found it. I got it. No Atari stuff there. Atari stuff was kind of lacking. It was all like stuff with boxes and manuals. Like I don't want boxes and manuals for Atari. I want boxes and manuals for NES games, but not Atari games. It's like I don't want that. Oh hey, Spyro. Spyro 3 again. Now, we saw this game a while back in Catching Up Volume 3, but this is actually, different. This is the Greatest Hits one. Yes, I was looking for this. My other one was non-Greatest Hits, and, this is actually the Greatest Hits one, which means it has proper music and bug fixes, which means this is the definitive version of Spyro 3, and someone got like some cum on there. Oh, no worries. I haven't tested these. I don't know if they work. I'm hoping they do. I'll let you know with like a voiceover in the video if they work. Hey, voiceover, do these games all work? Okay, so I have tested all the games, and I have come back to report on how well they work. So for the NES games, all of them worked fine for the most part. Well, most of them worked fine. They did take a lot of work to actually get into boot up. Some of them took like 20 or 30 or probably like fucking 700 tries to get booting up, but they eventually did work. The one oddball, the one where it would kind of work but not really, the one exception to this was RBI Baseball. It would technically boot up, but it would just be a glitchy mess of pixels and random like 8-bit vomit. I'll put a picture so you can see what it looks like. It was just a mess, and every time I turned it on, every time it got started working, anyways, it just would always do the same thing. I cleaned it. I opened it up. I even took apart my whole console, cleaned the console, and tried the game again just to see if it would help anything, and no, it didn't. And even more funny, actually, when I opened up the game, I realized that someone must have traced along the connectors, I think, or something must have happened to the connectors where they just got like all shriveled up. They're like raisin connectors. It's like they got fucked. So the game probably didn't work because of that. That has to go back to the store. Sadly, this is the second time where I got a game that didn't work. I'm very disappointed because it's one I've actually been looking for, but I guess sometimes you just get shit on and it's just, gotta move on with life. Solar Fox worked fine. That was the only Atari game I got, and that worked okay. Spyro 3 had its own share of issues as well. I was happy to have a greatest hits copy of Spyro, finally, but the issue is that some parts of it just don't work. Like, all of Agent 9's sections are missing audio, like voice lines and music are just completely gone, absent. And then what's even worse is that Sunrise Spring just doesn't load, period. The other levels are fine, but Sunrise Spring, I just can't go to it. I tried it and it just would go to a black screen and it just would never load. So what I think might happen is you try to start a new game on that copy, the game would just crash. It just would not continue. So thank God I had at least save files to test out, and thank God I at least have a second copy, so if I ever get like really desperate, I can at least play that. But it just sucks that even after getting 2 copies, they both have some issues. One of them being that, the inferior version is not greatest hits, and the other one being that it is greatest hits, but it has several glitches and is not in proper working order. So again, very disappointing, especially since Spyro 3 is my favorite game of all time, so it actually is very upsetting for me. But everything else worked fine, and Spyro 3 still kind of works, and I at least have options for playing that game, so it's not so bad, I guess. And with RBI Baseball, I at least have the black edition of the game. I wanted the gray one, but having the black copy is okay too. It's just, being a collector, I gotta get both versions, but I'll probably find it again at some point. It's no big deal. Thank you for your great wisdom, voiceover. Okay, there we go. I know it's $10. This one's $10. This one's $6. This one's $7. There we go. Here we go. Now DVD selection was actually quite good. I considered getting a bunch of DVDs, but I just got 2 sets. Seinfeld Season 9 for $4. These are really cheap, actually, these Seinfeld sets. Now, this one I'm actually excited about, Season 9, because this is, like, the final season. This has, the Frogger, which I remember, of course, because, me, as a small child who likes video games, seeing this episode, I was like, haha, look, it's George, but he's on the street, and it's like Frogger in real life. It's very funny. But I like the, funny, side plot too, where, Elaine has, the cake, and it's supposed to be, this really old, cake from, some old, wedding or something, but then it turns out to be this really cheap, dollar store cake. And it's funny. And this also has the series finale on it, where they go to jail. That's something. I think it's kind of a controversial episode, but I kind of want to see it just to see what it's like. Oh yeah, Cinemation. I kind of forgot about these. Yeah, they'll have little, animated scenes. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, Cinemation. Yeah, I'll have to give that a watch later, probably. And speaking of like classic seasons of shows, we have The Simpsons. This is the 7th season, which is probably one of the better seasons. Actually, this actually fits really nicely with season 6 because this has part 2 of Who Shot Mr. Burns on it, and season 6 had part 1. So yeah, they had a season cliffhanger. They were cheeky back then. And it also has the 22 short films about Springfield episode, which is a very classic episode. I've only actually seen it in German, the whole episode, because we watched it in German class, just as like for a fun day. We just watched German Simpsons dubs. But it has that, and I'm actually excited to see it in English. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, another classic season of a show. Before, season 8 and then season 9, and then that kind of was the downfall of Simpsons was season 9, I think. That's when it got a bit stinky. Okay, there's one bag down. Now let's move on to actually, let's do this Barnes & Noble's bag first, because there's a very small thing in here. It's just one thing. It's a blooper. It's a squid. It's a squid. It's a scary squid. It's in my house. It's going to kill me. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Now I have both, sea creatures, I guess. Cheep Cheeps and bloopers. I just have both of them now. Just, because why not? It's actually a pretty cute plushie. I actually really like him. This was $10. So, yeah, it wasn't much. And, I wanted to get it, so I got it. Okay. I'm sure you already have seen this, so let's just reveal it. Shadowgate. I did not pay for this game. I'll make that very clear. I did not buy it. My dad bought it because my dad is a big fan of the 3 ICOM simulations, Mac Venture games, Shadowgate, Uninvited, Deja Vu. Really big fan of those. So he got it. We saw it. I was like, oh hey, look, it's that game that my dad really likes, and now we have it. And I didn't pay for it, so this was actually a freebie for me. But this would have been $12. So yeah, $12. A little bit steep. I kind of wish it was cheaper. I kind of wish that it wasn't what it was charging. We're charging it for, because that's just, I don't know, it's a common game. I don't think it's really worth it. I've seen Shadowgate before, so it's like, I don't think it's really worth $12, honestly. But, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a really good game. I'll check it out later. And again, I got it for free, so he paid for it, so can't complain too much. Also, actually, you may notice something. These don't come with cases normally. These are, like, actually the display cases that games use at video games, etc. They use these little DVD cases, and normally you don't get these, but I guess they just gave it to us on accident, so we actually got it just as a little bonus, I suppose. I don't know why, but they just gave it to us. I guess they probably didn't mean to, but I kind of like having it, actually. It's like kind of a nice relic of the store, I guess. I can keep it like, it's like when maybe they shut down, I can like keep it like, hey, look, it's a nice little memory from that store. It's a display case from it. And actually, it's really just a PS2 case with a memory card holder. I could actually use that for something, probably. So, yeah. It's a nice little, piece of history, I suppose. Nice little sentimental thing. I don't know. I'll keep it. I kind of like it. We have one Atari game. Where is it? Here it is. I think it's actually my first game by CBS Electronics that I have. This is Solar Fox. This is an arcade game by Bally Midway. I believe it's kind of like, kind of a Pac-Man kind of game where you have to, like, collect all the stuff, but it's like you're a spaceship, I think, and there's no maze. It's kind of an interesting game. I think it actually looks pretty fun from what I've seen. Yeah, this is Solar Fox, and, I like these carts a lot. I think they actually look pretty neat, these cartridges. They're kind of like regular Atari cartridges. Actually, they look a lot like Activision games, actually. They look suspiciously like Activision titles. But yeah, I think CBS made some cool games. I believe. I think they also like published Gorf and Tunnel Runner. That's an impressive game for the Atari. Um, yeah. I'm excited to check it out later, see what if it's good or not. Decided to give it a look see, and I have the receipt, so I will rattle off prices later for things. Here's Cobra Triangle. I think I have seen this game before, but I never actually bought it. It was there, and I decided to bite, I suppose. It was a bit on the pricey side, but I figured it might be fun to at least check it out, see what it's like. It's a game by Rare. It kind of has like the same, almost looks like it's using the same engine as like RC Pro-Am. Like it's the same exact kind of game, but with like it's I think much more difficult than RC Pro-Am, but it looks like it's on the same engine. Yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. I do like Rare games a lot. Rare made some good stuff for the NES. Bases Loaded. Now, hold on. There's something I want to mention about this one. I'll say the price for this one right away. So normally I avoid this game because Bases Loaded is everywhere and I don't really need it right now. It is arguably the most common NES game. Well, actually, not arguably. It's factually the most common game is Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. That's like the most common one. But this one is the one I see the most. I see Bases Loaded everywhere at every store. It's always there. I can't escape it. Same with that fucking like Jack Nicklaus golf game. It's always there. I always see these games and I never buy them. But here's the thing. This Bases Loaded, you know how much this costed? The same number on that guy's shirt. $1 this game costed. This game costed $1. So I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll take Bases Loaded home. And here we are. We have Bases Loaded. 1 and 2 now, I think. Yeah. I want to get this game in box too, like for really cheap at some point. If I can get it for like, if I can get a game in box for like $5 or less, that would be really nice. But there we go. There's the cartridge, and yeah, it was extremely cheap. So yeah, why not? Just go ahead and take it. More baseball now. We have RBI Baseball, which I'm actually a pretty big fan of. I do like RBI Baseball. And this one is actually pretty cool because this is the slightly more uncommon gray version of RBI Baseball. I believe it's more uncommon. I don't see these at least that often or really at all. So they had them behind the counter. I want to make sure this was the right one, and because I already had the black one, I want to see if it was a gray one, and it was gray. So I decided, hey, I'll actually buy it. And yeah, so now I have 2 out of the 4 Tengen Gray games. I'm just missing Gauntlet and actually, I think they just did 3 gray ones. And I know there's also Temple of Doom, but that was by Mindscape, not Tengen. So yeah, actually, I just have 1 more to go. That's Gauntlet. And I have 2 more to get complete in box. So yeah, that's my that's a set that can easily complete, hopefully. But yeah, there you go. That's RBI Baseball. Pretty fun little baseball game, kind of arcadey. I enjoy it. And I think there's one more. Yes, there is. Super Glove Ball. Now, this is a Power Glove game, but you don't need Power Glove to play it. You can just play it with a regular controller. And I kind of wanted to try it because I kind of like these weird oddball games like this. It's kind of like a breakout kind of thing. I might actually enjoy this, honestly. You know, for as weird as it is, I might actually, you know, like it because it is kind of a weird breakout game, and I like weird breakout games. And that's by Rare, so Rare usually makes high-quality stuff, at least in terms of graphics and sound, so if the game sucks, it'll at least have nice music by David Wise, so that makes it a bit better. And let's recap what the price is. We have Cobra Triangle for $8, Bases Loaded for $1 single dollar, RBI Baseball for $6, Super Glove Ball for $5, and Solar Fox for $6, not counting sales tax. And yeah. So that's like what, $5 a game pretty much? I could have done worse. And that's all I got for today. I'll have to try these games out later, see what I think of them, and yeah, hopefully you guys can maybe try some of these out too. Let me know what you think of some of these games like Dino Wars or Solar Fox or any of these games. Yeah, let me know if you have found anything good yourself recently. One thing I actually do want to do is do like a flea market video or something where I go and look at flea markets and see what games they have. Now that I'm vaccinated, I could do it without risk of getting sick. Hopefully, that could be a thing in the future. I could film that maybe and show what I find, and yeah, hopefully I can find things for cheap. I'll take a look, see what flea markets there are. Or maybe garage sales too. I don't know. Just look for like people selling stuff. I don't know. I'll probably find some cheap stuff eventually if I look well enough. If I do a good job. If I do the thing right. If I look hard enough, I'll find good places to get games, and maybe I'll share my experiences with you guys. Anyways, I've went on for too long. See you guys later. Goodbye.
A sex man! Film!
My balls, my balls, my balls, my balls.
You fucking dick! Fuck you!